Hello and welcome to another podcast. I know it's been long, more than a year, I suppose. The last podcast I did was Dayam versus Alavandan. Okay, so yeah, a couple of things happened between then and now. You might have noticed that I didn't put out a lot of videos last year, because so if you didn't know, I was in the US when I started this channel, and I did my PhD. I just finished my PhD when I started moving images back in 2017. And then I was working there. That's why I still had time to make all those videos, because work-life balance is better in the US. And then last year I just decided to, just move back to India. And I found a job as a professor at VIT. Gasp, I know, a professor, really. Yes, I am a professor. I have a PhD in bioengineering. So right now I'm teaching bioengineering to the future scientists and great engineers of India. So yeah, I teach bioengineering at VIT. So I decided to move back. I got a job here, and then it took me a while to get, settle down, to get accustomed to the work environment here, to the timings, to the weather, especially because it's been more than 6-7 years since the last time I even sweat. So yeah, you know how that is. If you've ever been to Vellore, you know how hot it gets here. It's been a fun last 8 months or so. I still managed to put out some videos, still managed to find some time to set up a nice editing computer here and still do my videos, but I know that it wasn't following a regular schedule where you have at least one video every month. But hopefully, this year, starting February, I will have one video every month. I have a couple of ideas lined up for each month till May or June. So keep a lookout. And thanks for, not unsubscribing, hanging on while we took a small hiatus. Another good thing that happened once I moved back to India was I was finally able to meet all the nice people who have supported this channel over the years. Some of them you might already know, they are celebrities, like Mr. Bhardwaj Rangan, Ranak, who's the co-founder of Fully Filmy. Then there's Asha Mira, who does wonderful interviews for Cinema Express, and Kishan Das, of course, ladies heartthrob. And a couple more. I got to even make some more new friends. Recently, I actually got to speak with, message RJ Balaji. I found out that he follows my channel, and I just slid into his DM, as the saying goes. Not with the same intentions, though. Anyway, so I texted him on Twitter, and he watched a couple of my videos. So, yay! So a couple of fun things too. I got to collaborate with a couple of these people. I have some more collaborations lined up, which I will reveal as and when those things gets, confirmed. So don't want to get your hopes too high. Anyway, keep a lookout for those. Fun things happened once I moved back to India. And now I finally got my schedule down. I have everything, the ideas for the next few months. I'm going to try and experiment. Like, moving images by itself, at least to me, never had a template. There was never one video that was very similar to another video. No, I usually even switch up the fonts, the way I edit, the way I do my sound editing. Of course, there are some staples in it, me speaking in English and whatnot. But other than that, I try to switch it up. The topics I cover, the films I take, I try to switch it up. And this year will not be an exception. Every video this year will be completely new, at least to me. I'm gonna experiment a lot. If you haven't watched my latest video, go ahead and watch that before listening to this podcast. But yeah, I made a video on Super Deluxe. We'll get back to the whole topic of Super Deluxe in a bit, but yeah, I experimented doing hand-drawn animation for the first time, which was scary and exciting at the same time. And I have a couple of other ideas for videos itself, something like maybe do like a non-linear video essay. That would be fun. I tried something similar for Alavandan, but found out it was too crazy and too hard to follow my train of thought. But I have something else now that I think might work. Christopher Nolan fans are gonna be happy, I guess. I don't know. And I have a whole new idea which I'm excited, really excited for, which doesn't necessarily have to do with a particular movie, but a movie star, or something that I'm working on the side, like hint, a script. So yeah, I want to talk about the whole process of writing that script and who is my dream cast and whatnot. So look out for that video. I'm not going to reveal anything more. And then I'm going to also take this whole animation thing to the next level, collaborate with actually really good animators and try to come up with some kind of original content, or maybe even something like the YouTube channel How It Should Have Ended, where I might discuss how a movie should have ended, but not in their style, something in my own style. But you get the point. So yeah, exciting stuff to look out for. Thank you for hanging on. Thank you for supporting this channel for all these years, and please keep supporting, please keep sharing. I'm really proud of the community I've built here. I know my views aren't that much. I don't have a whole ton of subscribers compared to the other channels, but the community I have here are really supportive. If you want to get a taste of the kind of community I have here, just go check the comment section. I promise I don't delete any of the negative comments. I have a filter for abusive words, but that's it. If it's negative, if people don't like what I'm talking about and they call me out in a decent way, that comment is going to be there. So, but you can see that most of them get the idea I'm trying to present, and they appreciate it and they encourage it. So, and I do look forward to all those feedback as well. So yeah, I built a really niche community here, a nice community where we are free to discuss and appreciate the films we love. To keep building this community, to keep it, to expand it a little bit more, or to grow it, as you would. I've been very active on Twitter and Instagram, and I do this Q&A sessions now and then. If you have listened to my other two podcasts, you would know that I do this Q&A sporadically. So if you want to ask me any question at all, if you want me to answer anything related to movies or just about anything else that might interest you, then yeah, do follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And and also that's the best place to get in touch with me. If you text me, I'll get back to you in a day, minimum, maximum. Any day. Okay, so without much further ado, I'll jump into the questions. I will also cover some other topics as we go along. This is totally unrehearsed, as you might have already gathered by the constant hiccups I've been having. But yeah, let's keep it fun and let's jump right into the questions. Okay, so first question is from Sandeep KCS. Favorite Tamil movies so far in 2020? I don't know. I usually feel that at least from the last 2 years, the Tamil film industry tends to release all their great movies at the year end, like around starting from September till December. Especially in December, you get all these wonderful movies. And so far, Well, the biggest releases I guess we had were Darbar, I guess, and what else? Patas. None of them were good. Those were Pongal releases, if I'm right. I can't even remember which movies released in this year and which was last year. Uh, but recently I watched Kannum Kannum Kollaiyadithal, which was actually really good. Um, it wasn't an art film or anything. It's a good commercial film which took your usual tropes and then flipped them upside down and kept you guessing, which is sort of similar to the topic I covered in my video recently, where you take things that the audience already know and then use it against them or use it in a different way. And Kannum Kannum Kollaiyadithal did it excellently well. So that, I think, has been my favorite so far. The second best would be Oh My Kadavale for, being quirky, and it was a breezy film. I didn't have to think too much, but it didn't offend me in any way. It was a fun watch. So yeah, moving on. This question is from Nagarjun Deepak. Which one genre that Tamil cinema is yet to explore or tried and failed miserably? I think we can all agree that it's going to be the superhero one. We haven't had a successful superhero movie. Some might argue that Hero was a really good attempt. For those who say that, I'm just gonna say that I strongly disagree with you. Hero isn't different from any other commercial hero film, except that he had a costume, which would make even Velayudham a superhero movie. Anyway, I think we missed the mark on what makes a comic book superhero movie, because I don't think our directors really appreciate the art and the story that goes into comic books. I don't think most of them have even read a comic book in their lives. Mishkin, for a fact, I know that have only watched Batman Begins and Dark Knight Rises before deciding to make Mugamudi. I think they need to research a little bit more, try to find good comics. So let me back it up with a good example. Comic book stories can, and this I've already talked about in a previous video essay of mine, but comic book movies are not just a movie around a superhero. It has to be of its own genre that has a superhero in it. Like Wonder Woman is a fish out of water kind of story that has Wonder Woman in it. Captain America Winter Soldier is an espionage film with Captain America in it. I said the same things in my video essay. But let me prove it to you with one more excellent point. So there is this comic for Spider-Man that came around 1980s. It has a wonderful villain called the Hunter, I think. Let me just quickly check. My memory is a little bit foggy. I do remember the story, but I'm just a little bit rusty. Kraven the Hunter. Yeah, that's his full name. Kraven the Hunter. So the story revolves around Kraven the Hunter always seeing Spider-Man as the ultimate hunt. As his name suggests, he likes to hunt, and he sees Spider-Man as his ultimate hunt. But this story actually dived too deep into his psyche and showed how you can flesh out a one-note villain like Kraven the Hunter. He's just a hunter. But this comic especially fleshed out his backstory by having him deal with depression. And his only aim in life is to defeat Spider-Man, and you can kind of see where he's coming from. He comes from a rich aristocratic family who was driven away due to a revolution in their home country. So he lost everything he had, and there are two aspects of him. There is the human part and there is the feral hunter part, and he struggles to balance them both. So what he does is just one day decides to get rid of Spider-Man, like finish the hunt once and for all. So he finds Spider-Man, and before Spider-Man can even quip a funny thing about anything, he just shoots him. He shoots Spider-Man and he buries him underground. That's it. That's the end of Spider-Man. And later what he does is he dons the Spider-Man costume and proves that he can be a better Spider-Man by getting rid of his villains once and for all. He doesn't just send them back to jail. He like kills them, and he does it, and he proves to be a better Spider-Man in his own weird way. And later, I think 3 or 4 days later after this event, Spider-Man wakes up and climbs out of his underground burial, and turns out that Hunter just drugged Spider-Man and put him underground. He didn't actually kill him. And once Spider-Man confronts Hunter, Hunter says that I've already won. I bested you. I proved that I could kill you. I proved that I am a better Spider-Man, and that's it. So, having proven all this, he just commits suicide, and he dies. So I know it's kind of a downer kind of tale, but it takes a simple villain and makes him very complex. That's what comics do. Now, having heard this story, how about trying to fit this into a Tamil film that we all know and love? How about Thani Oruvan? Take the same story as Thani Oruvan, but instead of having... I'm not saying that the movie's climax was bad or anything. It's excellent. But I'm just saying this is like another version of Thani Oruvan, where instead of Kraven the Hunter, you have Siddhartha Abhimanyu, who doesn't actively just, tries to get away with his scheme by diverting the hero, but rather, proves to the hero that he is actually better than him. And once that purpose is done, he takes his life. So, I don't know, this just felt like a story with a lot of potential, and this came in the 70s, late 70s or early 80s. So, yeah, comic books. Please, directors, if you are ever planning on making another superhero movie, read some comic books. Get some inspiration. It's okay if you even copy. It doesn't matter. But make a good one. Okay, that was a long rant. Moving on. This question is from the Ashik Ashwin, and he wants to know when I'll release Ivargal 3. Soon. You guys haven't been that receptive to the first two parts. It only got like maybe 3,000 views or something. So I know. Most people don't even remember KB Films. But I do have OCD, so I can never rest until I finish a series that I started. So it will be completed by this year. I promise. It's just not going to be my next video. Okay. Arjun.rar wants to know which movie or thing you think doesn't deserve Academy or mention which one deserved. I don't follow the Academy Awards. I really don't think that it's a gauge for good films. Granted, it does give you a good movie list, but yeah, I don't really follow those, so I don't even know which ones won exactly what. I know Parasite won something, best film, I think, but other than that, I have no idea, so I don't follow those. Jelly Kumar wants to know, who are you? Well, if you watched any one of my videos, the first sentence goes like this: I'm Kishore. Other than that, I don't have any other deep answers for you, guy. Sorry. So, okay. Rasani Karan wants to know, do genre-specific films work out in Kollywood without songs or mass fight sequences? I think they do. We had a couple of films that didn't have any songs or mass fight sequences, right? Off the top of my head, Kaidi or Vatta Sirpu didn't have any songs. Vatta Sirpu especially didn't have any fight sequences. It just had one actor, and these were really good films. Super Deluxe, for one. Yeah, we had a couple of really good films that didn't have any songs or mass fight sequences. I think, judging by the acting that we see, that we audience like accept right now as good acting or like normal, even from a masala entertainer like Patas or Darbar, it's more toned down and it's more realistic than, say, a movie that came out like in early 2000s. Um, yeah, just randomly watch any movie from early 2000s or late 90s, and just immediately watch any other movie from the last 5 years, and you will see that there's been a drastic shift on how our actors act. A good example would be NGK. So NGK is an interesting film. It's a time capsule. It's a film that should have come out in like maybe 2002, 2003, but just came out now, and you can see that it seems very artificial. The acting was beyond horrible. It felt very artificial. Even Mishkin, whose initial films had this really artificial acting, and he has promised in many interviews that he will continue to do it. He has toned it down a lot. If you watched Psycho, you will know what I'm talking about. Psycho doesn't have his usual artificial kind of acting. Even the Psycho character seemed very tame and more realistic for the most part. So yeah. Genre specific films, yeah, they do work. Genre blending, that works even better. Okay, why is Billa 2 considered a bad film? This is from Kavian28. I don't know, have you watched it? Were you able to watch it? Were you able to sit through it? It's just a ripoff of Scarface, right? So the one thing I liked about the original Dawn movie and the remake with Shah Rukh Khan was that it switched it up. It took a film that pretty much everyone has watched and didn't just make a straight up remake of it. It made a switch. So if you haven't watched that movie, spoiler alert, Dawn doesn't die. The good guy actually dies and Dawn replaces him. And through that confusion, he finally rises to power. He has no competition. He gets rid of his boss, and he becomes the true one and only Dawn, which I felt was really good because the movie is called Dawn. It should be about the Dawn. In the original, the Dawn, the titular character just dies in the first 20 minutes, which is with Billa, they were faithful to the original story, which is fine. But what Billa 2 could have done was you're hyping up this character, this Billa, who only was there for the first 20 minutes in the previous part. So how can you make him interesting? Well, you could have taken the Dawn route and showed his rise to power and then cut back and shown that he actually survived the accident, and now he's on the lookout for his doppelganger, and they both face each other instead of keeping it an entire prequel. Because what are we gonna get? We know that this character is gonna die. So a prequel by itself was not a great idea, but they could have done something more with it. Something that would change the way you watch the original. Well, there's two sides to it. Sami 2 also changed the way I watch Sami now in a really bad way, but they could have done it in a really good way. It had a lot of potential. Niveda Speaks wants to know my favorite film critic. I would say Bharadwaj Rangan, Sudesh Kamath, and then Siskel and Ebert, the originals. And not many of you know, but my grand uncle is Subru, the music critic, and he also wrote a couple of pieces on films, which actually got him into trouble. But so he's also my favorite, obviously. Okay. Daughter. I'm gonna butcher this name. Datagnan 95. Okay, he wants to know, name a few directors around the world who I admire other than Hollywood. Well, there's tons and tons of directors. From around the world except Hollywood. Oh, that's a tough one, man. I don't want to sound. I don't want to give out the usual like all the European directors or Akira Kurosawa or the usual ones. I mean, I watch pretty much the same films that you guys do, so I don't have like an exceptionally big, unique list. Every other foreign film that you liked, I probably liked it too. So I don't know how to answer this. Moving on. Shri Style wants to know, are you a filmmaker or enthusiast? I am an enthusiast who wants to become a writer. Hope that answered your question. Unregistered Stargazer wants to know, what is your thought on Storyboard? Love it. I absolutely need it. Of course, that's the way my brain works. Rather than words, I work with images. Hence the channel's name. Wink, wink. Anyway, so yeah, absolutely. It conveys your vision in a more clearer way than words would. You convey your angle, you convey how you want to block the scene, and how long you want to keep it, everything. Yeah, it conveys ideas better. If you guys liked Parasite, go check out all the storyboards that the director drew for his films. It's really good. These are crude drawings, but they are very faithful. The final film is very faithful to the storyboard. Whatever he draws on storyboard, he just converted that into celluloid. Okay. Okay. Venkat Narayanan wants to know, now that Mafia has released, is Karthik Narayan overrated? I don't want to comment on that. I didn't like his first film. I know you guys are gonna be surprised. But yeah, I really thought that Duruvangal Padanar had really horrible writing. The twists were unexpected because the director didn't give us any clues to even expect it. Like, I can have a twist to this podcast by suddenly having an alien drop by and continue the rest of the show. Would that make it an amazing twist? No. But would it make it unexpected? Yes. So it had horrible writing. And I didn't even want to watch Mafia. And judging by the reviews, I guess people didn't actually like it. If you did, that's up to you, man. But is Karthik Narayan overrated? I don't know. I don't know what I would even rate him. Except that he needs a good writer, or he needs to learn how to write really well. Anyway, Bharat Palni. Same question billion times. How you manage to get time to do what you love, being a full-time professor? I hardly get any time. It's a hectic schedule. But, it's not like there's no such thing as I don't have time for anything. It's only based on priority. The same goes for most other people too. When they say they don't have time for something, it just means that it's not on their priority list. So yeah, if it's on your priority, you will find time to make it. Okay. Sanjay Guna, a film definitely had to provide a message, or could it just be a story? I guess all the other films that I discussed recently, a couple of questions ago, like Kaidi, Ottasarupu, these films didn't have any messages in them, and they still worked. You don't need a message. Why would you even need a message? There are socially responsible films, but I don't know, man. It's not a necessity. A film's purpose is to entertain. So, first and foremost, if it does that, I think that's good enough. Okay. Naveen Bhupal wants to know, what's that film that most inspired you to be a screenwriter? Rear Window. Or, Rear Window would be the top, or any other Hitchcock films. I am a huge fan of his films. As for my settings, I draw a lot of inspiration from Genndy Tartakovsky. If you guys didn't know, he is the creator of Dexter's Laboratory and Samurai Jack, especially Samurai Jack. I like to have scenes that takes its own time to unravel. It's very silent. It doesn't have a lot of dialogues, and I like to convey things visually rather than dialogues. Because if I ever write dialogues, I get influenced by my other inspiration, Crazy Mohan, which doesn't actually work for every genre. So yeah. Okay. Shuffle Beats want to know how you get that much deep into movies and have studied any related to filmmaking. Well, the easiest way to get really deep into movies is by just watching them and trying to understand the essence of it. Yeah, you can watch all the movies that are there. You can even name all the directors and who made it, who acted in it, but I don't care. You should be able to answer what that movie actually meant, at least to you as a personal thing. What did that movie mean? So once you start asking that question and trying to find the answer, I think that's how you get more and more into movies. And as you try to figure out the answers, you're gonna look for more information on how to study these, how to understand movies, and that's how it starts. So mine starts with a simple Google search to reading a couple of scientific papers and whatnot. So yeah, I did read a couple of screenwriting books just to get the structure. So yeah, other than that, just start watching movies. When are you okay? High functioning. What's his full name? It's a long name. High functioning sociopath. Wow. Okay. When are you going to start posting your opinions, reviews on movies? Never. No, I'm okay. So I always feel that movie reviews are. There are people who do it really well, but it's not something that interests me personally because it's just expressing my opinions. And I'm being restricted as to or compelled to watch every movie that releases and get it out before everyone else does. And that's not something I want to do. I want to take my own time, revisit some of the older movies I like, and make a video appreciation a film appreciation or a video essay on it. Like, take my time, analyze it, make it, deep or at least meaningful, rather than giving points or whatever. Film criticism, on the other hand, is something that I really admire. So the difference between a review and a critic is like, so film critics, they need to know the art. They are not giving their opinions, rather they are judging a film through their knowledge of the art, and I really respect that. And there are only very few film critics in India. There are tons of reviewers, but only few critics. So, but I wouldn't want to get into film criticism as well, because like I said, Subaru was my great grand uncle or something. Yeah, grand uncle. So there are bound to be comparisons within my family, and it's something that's already being done in India. Although by a few people, they're doing it really well. So I want to create my own path, if you will, my own niche. So video essays on Tamil films was pretty much non-existent by the time I started this channel. Vinod Varadarajan was the only one who was doing this kind of stuff. So I decided to take that up and make that my path. So I'm happy with that. I'm never going to write reviews on films yeah. Okay. Vishal Santosh wants to know, how about a one-day session you allocate for movie maniacs? Would love it. I would love it too. Last time I had a little get-together in one of the malls, and yeah, a couple of people showed up. It was fun hanging out with you guys. Yeah, maybe sometime in the future. Okay. Prasanna V6 wants to know, what aspect of filmmaking you think is the most challenging and why? I would say directing, because with writing you get a lot of independence, and editing is almost independent. You still have to listen to the director and sometimes even the producer, but directing is for me at least, more than being challenging, it's the most boring aspect of filmmaking. Personal opinion, because directing is just managing. You just find the right people to do the job and make sure that they do the job. That's why I think most directors get in, also do the writing and whatever other responsibilities are there, but because direction by itself is kind of boring, and that makes it challenging. Okay. Kiran Raj wants to know, it's actually a request. Please do screenwriting tutorial videos. Okay. This is where I plug in my other thing that I've been doing. You notice that I didn't put out any videos during December and January. Yeah, because I was making videos for Kavitalia. Yes, the Kavitalia channel, the one owned by KB. Now it's being run by his daughter. So I posted 4 videos over there, and it's in Tamil. So if you guys didn't know, go watch those videos. I was so yeah, it's just a little thing we started. I don't know when the next episode will be up, or yeah, is it going to be monthly here on? But let's see. At least you guys can go watch the first 4 episodes where I talk about the filmmaking aspects, like how do you do double action, or how do you do how most films have the same screenwriting screenplay structure. So check it out. Okay. I'm gonna skip a couple of questions which I feel I've already answered. Okay. Okay, most of these are requests asking me to analyze this film or that film. Suggestions, or yeah, please don't ask me suggestions. I'm really bad at it. So yeah. So I guess that brings us to the end of the Q&A session. So yeah, I think I have a little bit more time left. So I'm gonna talk about my Super Deluxe video. So yeah, if you watch the video, it's a quirky take. It's a fun take. It's supposed to be light-hearted. It's me trying to be funny. If you didn't get that, I don't know, man. So yeah, and people were asking me why not make a separate video for Super Deluxe. Okay, the thing is, when I did a video essay for Aranya Gandam, no one was talking about that movie. This was before it became a, air quotes, cult film. No one, not many knew about this film. So at that point, I felt that I had to talk about this movie, get it, create an awareness, or no, I wouldn't go that far. At least talk about this movie no one has talked about before. This was before people started decoding or whatever. I don't know if it's a trend that apparently my channel started, but I don't know. Post starting moving images, everyone got into the whole decoding. Poster decoding, dress decoding, dialogue decoding, whatever, man. They decode everything now. So I guess, and then a lot of video essay channels also cropped up, which some of them really do a good job. But yeah, but that's the culture right now, which is a good thing and a bad thing. But when it came to Super Deluxe, by the time the trailer hit, people were decoding it left and right, and then when the movie came out, people have already overanalyzed it so much, like frame by frame. I think there's even a channel by that name, Frame by Frame, I don't know, that analyzed it frame by frame. So there's not much to talk about. Thematically, the story is very simple. It's about unconditional love. That's the theme, and they explain it at the end. So there wasn't much about the theme I could talk about. There wasn't much about decoding. I didn't want to do that anyway. Like talk about, this reference over there, or, how this is all a connected universe, which it is. Super Deluxe, Aranya Gandam, Walk Outer Cutting, and Orumpo. All 4 movies, they are part of a cinematic universe. If you didn't know, now we know. Anyway, but no, I didn't want to do that. I've grown up now ever since my RNA Gundam videos. So I wanted to make a fun take on this. Not pull down the film. The film is an excellent film. I really feel that it's a really good film. It was really well made, and it had really deep themes in it. Yes, but I just want to remind people that hey, it's also just a film, and it's a film that you might have already seen, but just given a new take on. These are people. The filmmakers are just like us. They grew up on the same films that we did. So, and then they want to offer you something different. So how about we look at it at this perspective? So it's just a fun take, something that I hoped that even the filmmakers, when they watch it, would laugh and enjoy. That's about it. So yeah, don't take it too seriously. If you like the video, thanks. If you didn't, there's always next video. But yeah, don't really ask me to make another full video on Super Deluxe because I didn't do justice to the film. I don't have any more ideas. I don't have anything else to talk about the film. If you want to know more about Super Deluxe, go watch other people's videos. And I usually use this for some other films as well, this same explanation, and people will be like, oh no, but we want to see it in your style. I don't have a style, man. Each video is different. Every video I make is completely different. I don't have a style. By style, if you mean like well researched, well, these other channels do that. Give them some credit. Go watch some of those. And there's also this other thing where people are like, oh, why didn't you talk about this aspect of the film? Well, sir, if you already knew all these aspects, why do you want me to talk about it? Oh man, some people just want to see me work. Nah, I'm just kidding. I love you all. But still, that's my explanation about a post interview statement or something that director Lakshmi did after that whole FC fiasco. Anyway, I digress. All right, thanks for listening. I know this has been a very long podcast, but if you have listened till the end, thank you. It's okay if you even fast forwarded it. And yeah, do keep supporting the channel. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.